Hey everybody, Dave Ward here, and I'm back with our playbook, which is our 10 rules for success with Team Beachbody. These are the 10 things that I have used for the last 10 years to build a big successful business with Team Beachbody. Hopefully you've had a chance to check out the other videos. If not, they're on the YouTube channel, and you're more than welcome to go check those out. Today we're talking about number 7, which is expand your network. One of the things you're gonna start to see here is how these rules really interplay off each other, right? Number 6 is make a list and use it. Number 7 is keep growing your list, right? We say expand your network, but really that's what we mean by it, is make sure you don't just make a list of everybody that you know right now and never add any names to it, because if you're doing number 8, which is being system dependent and sharing our products and our business with people and allowing them to sort themselves in or out of this funnel that we create, then you're gonna get through those names pretty quickly. And once you do, if you don't have any more names, it's gonna be a struggle for you. So you need to be expanding your network. And I'm gonna talk today, this is probably a video, I could either do one video that's an hour long, more like instead of doing that, I'll just keep doing follow-up videos on this specific topic, because I could get into a lot of different areas of social media marketing, which is really how I've built my businesses online, through a blog and through email marketing and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and a lot of other places as well. And we'll talk about some of those different things in a little bit more detail in the future. For right now, I want to just really reinforce the concept that you've got to keep adding to your list. So let's talk a couple of ways generally about how you can do that. So if you're new, right, what I really suggest new people do is, again, you make that hard list that we talked about in number 6, use the memory jogger, write down everybody you know, start going through those people, and then keep expanding on it by increasing your social media profile, learning more about that stuff. You know, in rule number 3, which is personal development, I talked to you about mindset personal development and skill set personal development. If you don't really know how to market online, every now and then somebody comes into this business and maybe they've got a YouTube channel or a blog or something and they're familiar with this stuff. Most people, if you're like me, I didn't even have a Facebook account when I started this business. I had a lot to learn. Skill set, right? So that's okay. That's some skill set personal development you're gonna do. So what you're doing is you're kind of simultaneously doing that, right? You're working through the list that you made in number 6, and then you're increasing and increasing your profile and your presence online, working on your brand, trying to show yourself who you are, okay? And those two things happen simultaneously. What happens for a lot of people is they make a list, they don't work on increasing their social media presence. They make a list, they run through that list, and they don't add any more names to it, and they're out of people to talk to. And that's just not good. So what I suggest you do, again, is working through your list while also building a social media presence. Okay, so that's kind of the system I want to give you. The other thing you can do, though, related to making a list as you're working through your list, is just to understand, most people are not going to say yes. Okay, we just understand that from the outset. Even though we have the best products, even though we have the best business, not everybody's interested. I get it. Some people would rather have a cheeseburger, and that's fine, right? So what is important is that as you're going through the process, and when people say, no, I'm not interested, the next question is, do you know anybody who might be? Okay, so asking for referrals is a really natural way to expand your network and grow your list. And if you just think about it really quickly, if you're, for example, like I have an insurance agent, right? Everyone does, right? And my insurance agent has my best interests in mind, right? He wants me to be successful because I pay his bills, and I pay his bills like clockwork. So when I go to him and I talk to him about this and he says, no, I'd rather have a cheeseburger, which is not what he said, by the way, but you know, when he says no, I ask him, okay, do you know of anybody who might be interested in this? And make sure that he's really well educated. At the time, the answer is no. But I make sure he's really well educated, and all the people around me are really well educated about what it is that I do. So that when somebody around them is like, oh man, I'm just really struggling. I just came from the doctor, and you know, I've been prescribed with, you know, whatever pre-diabetic medicines, or, you know, pick a scenario, I pop into their head. So maybe I don't get a referral right out of the gate, but I can get one later, as long as people know what I do. Like, I know what my insurance agent does because he's an insurance agent. You know, I've got a friend who's a realtor. I know what the realtor does. When somebody comes to me and says, you know, really, I'm looking to buy a house in your area. Do you know anybody? Of course I'm gonna send you to Chris, because she's a fantastic realtor, right? And I know what a realtor does. People don't really know what we do. So it's important that you take some time and educate them, right? about what you do so that you can ask for that referral. So that's the first one. Lee Ratterman, for those of you guys who are on Lee's branch of our team, Lee is probably better at this than anybody I've ever met about just getting referrals from people. And when she makes a Shakeology sale, she's asking people, hey, do you know anybody who might also be interested? Or, if you sell a challenge pack, hey, do you know somebody who might be willing to join you on your fitness journey? Don't do it alone, right? Easy way to expand your network through referrals, and Lee's better at it than anybody. I should have her on a team call to talk about that. Okay, so again, you can increase your social media profile. Is the other thing you should be doing simultaneously with working through your list and again, asking for those referrals. A couple things you can do just to sort of get started with this whole thing. First thing is, don't try and dominate social media in a week. Okay, you will get overwhelmed very, very quickly. Each platform is a little bit different, and they all have a different user interface, and they all have different sort of content that works on them. It's going to take you a while to feel comfortable with that. So what I recommend you do first, let's say you've got a Facebook account, Facebook personal profile, you don't have a like page, you don't have an Instagram, you don't have a YouTube, and that's you basically got a Facebook profile. You don't have Twitter, you don't have any of that stuff. First thing I suggest you do is just stop and think about your brand. Think about who you are. Think about who the customers are that would be interested in you. Are you, the world championship crochet lady in the world? If you are, people in the crochet world are going to follow you. And they're great people to have follow you because you guys are going to have a lot to talk about. I'm a skier, I'm a surfer, a snowboard too. I love outdoor sports. I'm a mountain biker. I have a road bike as well. I'm constantly into those things. That's my target market. So if you were to go to my Instagram, which you can find at Dave That Surfer Guy on Instagram, you'd see a lot of stuff about what? Skiing, surfing, cycling, outdoor sports, right? And then you'd see me talking about how I use our Beachbody programs to stay in shape in order to be able to go do those things. I've been doing the yoga retreat for a while now, and I've got a ski trip coming up, and I'm so limber, my back feels so good, I'm so ready to kill it, right? I'm talking about all that stuff because that's part of my brand, right? You have to figure out what your brand is. We've got people who are into dogs, for example. There's some people who are super into dogs. In that dog community, boy, these people are super influential because they're well liked for that, which means people will be able to listen to them about this. So that's really the first step. Slow down, think about your brand. What I see too many people do, and this won't work, is the first thing they do is they start spamming their own Facebook page. That's a mistake, okay? Just pumping out links and stuff that's created by corporate doesn't work. And I know this because I still try to do it and it still doesn't work. Okay? So don't do that, all right? That's not gonna work. Spamming your own Facebook page with a link that says, join my team, isn't gonna work. It just is not gonna work. And then what happens is people ignore me telling them that, and then they wanna tell me that this business doesn't work. Well, the business works just fine. It's just that approach isn't gonna work. So that's what not to do, but this is what happens. People set up all these different social networks. They don't take any time to brand themselves. They don't put up any other content on them. They think if I just put a bunch of Beachbody links on a page, on an Instagram account, or if I get a YouTube account and I film a short video and have a bunch of links in it, the people are gonna buy stuff and or join my team. It just doesn't work. This is a relationship business. You have to build relationships with people. The way you do that is through the system we've used here with Make a List, Expand Your Network, and Being System Dependent. The next one you'll see in the Being System Dependent, I'll really explain how to do this and how to slow down with people, how to talk to them about our products and our business. But don't just go and set up a bunch of profiles all over the place and start pumping out links. That just won't work, okay? And I want you to be successful. So please don't do that. I know I'm kind of saying the same thing over and over again, but I just see it so much that somebody's got to tell you that doesn't work. So we know that doesn't work. What does? What does is slowing down, branding yourself. Take them one at a time. Again, don't try to dominate social media in a week. If you take a look at, if you love photography, for example, or just taking pictures, right? And you take pictures all the time anyway, and you're constantly posting them on Facebook. Instagram is a great place to start. Start an Instagram. Don't brand yourself as a Team Beachbody coach. Brand yourself as you, right? That's the other mistake I see so many people doing. It's like on my profile, I'm like Team Beachbody coach. Well, so are thousands of other people, and you don't distinguish yourself in any way. If you go look at my social media profiles, you don't see that on there. And there's a very good reason. I want you to get to know me. And if I put some barrier to entry there that says you better like Team Beachbody coaches before you get to know me, I'm really creating a problem for myself. I just want you to get to know me, right? Then later you find out, oh, you're a coach. Yeah. Is that something you might be interested in? If I sent you a link, would you take a look at it? Like that sort of thing happens, right? You have to build relationships with people. What that means is branding yourself. And what that means is posting the content that's authentic to you. The other thing you can do is a like page. I do recommend that people get a like page. At some point in your business, you might want to run Facebook ads. In order to run Facebook ads, you have to have a like page. So that's a good reason to just get a like page, get it up and running, get it branded. There's lots of great training on this, by the way. If you have questions about what training, I don't want to like specifically list a bunch of them here. Go to our Facebook page, ask the question, what's your favorite training for like pages? What's your favorite training for Instagram? Because the other thing is some of these trainings come and go, right? And there's always another good one. And if I recommend 5 of them, by the time you see this in a year or whatever, they may not be that great anymore. So go to the group and ask and tell them, hey, I was watching this video. Dave told me to pop in here, ask, all right? That'll also clue me in that you're actually watching my videos, which is good. So, training on those things, right? But there's a lot of great free training out there. You know, Google is an amazing little creature, and you can find a lot of great free training on how to set these things up. I just want to encourage you to be realistic and be authentically yourself when you're on social media and tell your story. You know, that's number 5, right? Number 5 of the playbook is share your story. That's really what you should be doing on social media, much more than you should be just pumping out links and having people buy. You can do a little bit of that. Gary Vaynerchuk's got a good book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And he uses like a boxing analogy where he's like, you know, every day I'm just jabbing. I'm not asking for a sale. I'm just showing you who I am. I'm just telling my story. I'm just providing value. I'm just giving you helpful stuff. Then I'm going to every now and then I'm going to throw a big right hook. And that's the one that I'm really trying to land. And that's where I've got an offer. Maybe I've got something that I want you to buy. Maybe there's a sale that Beachbody's having, or maybe you're in a big push to fill your challenge group. That's when you come in with that big ask, right? But the jab is the part people miss. They don't want to just daily tell their story, daily provide value, daily dig in and show people who they are just by showing them their life. Again, for me, it's skiing and surfing and that type of stuff. It's what I do, right? But people know who I am. My brand is like really, really clear. And that's what you want to do. So that's really what I recommend you do. And then just chunk it, you know? If you're going to try and do this thing online, just chunk it. You know, if you want to get into email marketing, for example, just understand that there's some complexity there. It's not an impossibly complex thing to figure out, because a dummy like me managed to figure it out. So pretty much anybody can do it. But it is something that takes some time. It's going to take an investment of time on your part. It's also going to take an investment of, again, learning, digging in with personal development, and working on those skill set things. All right. So that's really expand your network. Hopefully you're just sort of getting the concept here. I don't have any like hard, fast stuff in this particular rule. Really what it's about is just understanding that if you went through number 6 and you were as diligent as I asked you to be, and you made a list and you're starting to use that list, understanding that list is going to drain pretty quickly unless you add people to it. And there are a lot of different ways you can do that. And I've kind of touched on a few of them. But just continue to expand your presence on social media. You can also think about joining local clubs. You know, if you're somebody who's really comfortable face-to-face talking about this, you need to find places where you can get in front of people, you know, and that it's going to kind of, again, depend on you and your interests and the types of things you're into. So that's it for today. Expand your network. We'll be back tomorrow with number 8, which is be system dependent. I'm going to talk about how to use this list. All right, that's it.